Hello and welcome to a millinery hat commentary video. My name is Ilona, I am a milliner based in London, and today I thought we'd take a look at the do's and don'ts of wedding guest hats. I'll be looking at the 2011 wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton. Bear in mind this event was now over 10 years ago, so some of the fashion will look a little bit dated now. However, all the hat matching principles can still be applied to this day. I hope you will find this video a useful resource to inform your choices. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more millinery antics. Let's get our fashion critique hats on and get started. Do use your hat to accentuate your silhouette. Victoria Beckham is wearing a satin perched topper trimmed with a dark crystal star and vertical curled quills. The small oval shape balances out Victoria's pear face shape by visually slimming the forehead to match her chin. The elongated shape is emphasised by the length of the vertical curled quills, while the crystal star draws attention to her left eye. Of course, this elongation is pushed further by wearing really tall platform shoes. Wearing a hat so vertically right above your eyes is quite a strong and bold choice, so I would only recommend this to the most seasoned of hat wearers. Don't go for something too small and flat when you are wearing a structured and fitted outfit. Chelsea Davy is wearing a mini flat disc fascinator in a champagne colour trimmed with a bit of veiling. Please note I said veiling and not netting. Netting is an incorrect term here. Netting is a hat foundation material, whereas veiling is the stuff you drape over the top of a hat. While I think the champagne colour choice of Chelsea's fascinator is spot on, especially as it matches her shoes, with a structured and fitted suit, I would recommend a more structured and fitted hat. Perhaps a short pillbox worn on the back of the head would do well here. The curved sides of the pillbox would visually match the curved structured shoulders, and if worn centrally, it would mirror the central fashion cut of Chelsea's top. In my previous do's and don'ts video, people have asked me about brims. Here is a brim do. Carol Middleton is wearing a small crowned hat with a tilted, sharp-edged brim. It's not too big, which is perfect. To me, it looks like it's just smaller than her shoulder frame. It is also lifted up off her face, which gives her a clear line of sight. The lifting effect is emphasised by the upturned edge of the brim. This is super important, especially if you are the mother of the bride, as this lift and tilt will look really good in your wedding photos. Now, here's a brim don't. Don't wear a brim that obscures your eyeline. Joss Stone is wearing a large crown hat and a downward brim. I think there is something very Edwardian style about this shape. And due to this, what this look is missing is a large puffy hairstyle under the hat, which would lift the hat off the face. Alongside that, some kind of hip structure wouldn't go amiss to match the width of the hat brim. Another question I often get asked is it okay to wear a large brim hat to a wedding? And the answer is, it depends. This particular wedding, as with all royal occasions, was a society event. The guests are at the wedding to be seen themselves, and they are part of the ornamentation and pageantry of the occasion. I'm sure it must be really annoying to have someone in a big hat in front of you obscuring your view, but as a guest at a royal event, that kind of comes with the territory. My advice would be not to wear a large brim hat to a seated event unless it is a society occasion full of all the pomp and circumstance that comes with it. What do you think of the hat I'm wearing today? It's my Draped Delight Callow half hat model in the sea green colour. A timeless design, it's easy to wear and perfect for anyone. Link to purchase is in the description box. For a summer wedding, I have paired it with a neutral cottagecore style dress, a mini vintage brown handbag and some flat shoes. Who says we always have to wear heels? The sea green hat colour stands out against the neutral accessories, which allows the hat to be the star of the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hat wearing analyses. Do choose a strong colour you are comfortable in. Tara Palmer Tomkinson is wearing a fitted royal blue dress with a drapery around a Bardot neckline. Her hat is an elongated canoe shape trimmed with a large royal blue rose. The tall shape accentuates the long straight lines in her dress, and the central rose softens the whole ensemble and matches the softness of her draped dress neckline. Notice how the points in the hat are picked up in the pointy ends of the sash. Don't look like you're going to an 18th century dance. Princess Anne is wearing a green floral coat dress with wide open cuffs. Her hat is a lilac purple with an upturned corner which cleverly mimics the upward turn in her cuffs. While the style lines in this outfit match up, I think it's a little uncomfortable to look at. The flower plonked straight on top of the hat looks a little heavy and weighs down the entire look. Perhaps a plain single colour coat with a softer collar and cuffs would have looked more pleasing. I would also recommend tilting the style of hat so that the point at the back gives a little more height. Do lean into your cultural heritage. Miriam Gonzalez Durantes is wearing a fitted turban draped in black fabric. It is trimmed with a giant fiery red featherwork flower with an ombre dye effect. The whole outfit is a nod to the 1940s, and the combination of black and red is very Spanish indeed. The placement of the feather flower is balanced by the gathered burst of black tulle on her left shoulder. This is my personal favourite outfit of the whole occasion. Don't let your hat fastening show from under your hat. The Countess of Wessex is wearing a lovely champagne embellished coat dress with statement cuffs and matching accessories. Her hat is a stylised teardrop percher trimmed with classic roses and pointed turkey feather quills. To hide hat elastics, keep some of your hair forwards from your bun. Then put on your hat and pin those tendrils into your bun, obscuring the elastic. No one should be able to figure out how that hat is perfectly balanced on your head. The Countess has since reworn this hat multiple times, and I am pleased to say the wireframe fastening was no longer visible. Next up, the two looks I know you've all been waiting for. Let's look at Princess Beatrice first. I think this one might surprise you. Do wear a memorable hat. I actually really like this Philip Treacy creation on Princess Beatrice. The colour is perfectly matched to her outfit, and the stylised abstract structured bow is clearly inspired by the lattice work in the bodice yoke. What's more, the upward structure gives her height, which elongates her legs. The matching gloves, bag and shoes are also perfect, and the pleated skirt adds some much needed texture to her outfit. Don't wear an Empress Eugenie hat even if your name is Eugenie. I see what milliner Philip Treacy has done here, but this kind of literal millinery joke is only playful to those in the know of hat-shaped names, especially when it is at the expense of the wearer. Princess Eugenie got a lot of criticism for wearing this hat at the time, but if we were to blame anyone, I think it would be milliner Philip Treacy for not creating something a little more tasteful. Never mind, we all get it wrong sometimes. An Empress Eugenie hat is a small perching hat characterised by its upward brim and feather plume trim. This shape was made popular in the mid-1800s by French Empress Eugénie de Montijo, wife of Napoleon III. It became popular again in the early 1930s as worn by actress Greta Garbo in the 1930 film Romance. More recently, the updated, more modern interpretation can be seen on the character of Daphne in Series 1 of Bridgerton. Even though here it is lacking the feather, I would say the tilt and upward brim is a key Empress Eugenie hat characteristic. I'd like to make an observation about these two infamous hats. When looked at in isolation from each other, I actually think each hat works well. However, when you see Beatrice and Eugenie standing next to each other in most of the photos, the hats seem a little too fussy and over the top. I might even speculate that if they'd arrived separately at the wedding, the press might have been a little bit kinder. Here's an interesting hat trend that shines through at the beginning of this decade. Notice how a lot of these hats are being worn on the front of the head. This trend has now passed, but we all know trends are cyclical, so could this be back in the near future? Last up, do wear your grandmother-in-law's tiara. Kate is wearing the Cartier Halo tiara. This particular piece is considered a good beginner tiara as it is quite small and light, making sure the wearer is comfortable for the entirety of the event. And as we all know, this applies to hats also. The lighter, the better. Of course, if you don't have a tiara handy, but you would still like to elevate your bridal look, you can always wear a hat. I have a varied selection of bridal hats available on my website. See the link in the description box. I hope you've had a fabulous time looking through the millinery on display at William and Catherine's 2011 wedding. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all my new subscribers. For all you new viewers, please consider joining them and clicking the like button. Please do also leave me a comment about which look was your favourite. You can find me on all the socials listed here and sign up to my newsletter all about hats up here. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.